Go ahead.
Welcome to the Darkest Timeline podcast.
Doing great.
With Joe McHale and Ken Jeong, where we never overlap. Lap.
Oh, geez.
Start
it all over?
Lap. No, this is a podcast, baby. Keep it chubby. Keep it going long.
Ken,
That's how you do it. Not everything has to be slickly produced, Joe McHale.
Oh, well, we've nailed that since you've clearly rotated your trophies in the back. Oh, wait. No, they're exactly the same. Ken, I have a really important question for you about, the virus.
Oh, yes.
How's your bedroom? How's your white Boys to Men bedroom doing?
You know what? My bedroom is shaped like a virus. It's got all the spike proteins all over it now. I have it just, you had
it redone.
I had it redone. I put all these red.
What do you call this? This is my model of the virus behind us.
You know what? I got a better and bigger model of the virus in my bedroom. I just didn't want to show it because it's still in construction. Still allowed to be constructed essential workers.
Are you doing you're not doing the construction because you'd be dead.
Anyway, we should start over.
A nail into your hand or
to
exhaustion.
The Darkest Timeline podcast, where everything and anything substantial is being said in the last 2 minutes.
Is your hair wet, Ken?
I did. Yes, I got out of the shower.
Is that after working out? I'm kidding. I know that's impossible. That's never.
It was, as a matter of fact.
What did you do? Did you blink a lot?
I
exhaust yourself?
I went on my treadmill and I got triggered by the news. And I said, wow, this is this is horrible.
So you did a very slow walk with your heart rate of about 170 beats a minute.
My heart rate was at a steady 55.
You should have like one of those Walgreens blood pressure tests hooked up to your treadmill, so you can, as you're just standing still watching the news, just getting more angry and the blood is pulsing through you.
No, you know what I need? I just need a big poster of Joe McHale going like this. Just judging, and that just keeps me motivated. You're like Mr. T to my Rocky Balboa. You just keep me motivated. You're like the enemy, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna run even faster and harder, and then I'll get a stress fracture at my age.
Ken, how are you?
I'm doing fine, man. It's getting warm outside. It's getting
yes. For those of you just tuning in to the last 3 minutes or the last few episodes, we live in Southern California, which has gone full oven in the last 3 days.
Oh man,
what is that? I know that there's a lot of talk about the virus dissipating during heat, and I've been thinking a lot about that. Is
that why your hurts?
This is why this is like this. And that's true, right? Every season that happens, obviously, as everyone's talked about endlessly.
What happens? What do you mean?
When summer comes in, a flu virus or a coronavirus will dissipate, and then it comes back roaring in the fall.
I mean, yes. I mean, in general, not the jury's still out until it's out on COVID-19, but
right.
Yes. I mean, for let's say normal cold and flu season pre-pandemic, you always talk about the summer months being a bit, the heat does help like attenuate all the symptoms and the incidents due to the heat.
Would that mean that if you lived in Arizona or New Mexico, there's less flu? Typical flu.
Yeah, I mean, in general, that's not the case. Because that's not necessarily the case because of travel, because of air travel and people coming in and out. So that I don't, off the top of my head, don't have the incidence and morbidity and mortality of cold and flu season pre-pandemic in Arizona and New Mexico. However, right now, you read the term novel coronavirus, novel meaning new. This is a brand new virus being introduced, to humans. So no one has immunity. Before with all the other cold and flu symptoms, they have immunity where, excuse me for a second.
No, go ahead. Definitely answer that. Answer that text. That's great. No, this is a good time. Yes. I will wear another blue coat on The Masked Singer next season. But don't make it look any different than the last coat.
It's the call recorder on my eCam literally stopped right now, and that's what happened like 2 weeks ago, where like our esteemed producer Andrew Matt Damon lookalike Hopsit wasn't able to utilize any of my recordings because of my faulty call recorder. And just now, when I was talking about Arizona and New Mexico, the call recorder just died.
It just stopped.
It just stopped, and this. And this is a celebrity argument to reopen the economy for celebrities because we don't know how to use any of this material. We've gone humble pie for 8 episodes. This is the humblest timeline. We've had to do this. Joel and I, off the air, have had multiple battles with technology, and it's embarrassing.
Last week, I was in a blind rage, and Ken just laughed at me. I swear, if we didn't have Andrew, if they said to us, Ken, hey, set up some microphones in a computer and talk over some sort of video app or build an Apollo rocket, I would be like, I think the rocket.
No, if we didn't have Andrew, I would just read a book for like 3 months. I just wouldn't go anywhere near technology because it's just so. This is just way too hard. So this is
What book would you be reading?
Huh?
What book? Like The Masked Singer Companion?
Great book, bestseller. But no, I would read The Sacred Hoops by Phil Jackson in honor of The Last Dance. Booyah, which I've been watching religiously. Thank God for The Last Dance that has just kept just any NBA basketball fans just, appetite sated, because if you're watching this, the Michael Jordan documentary of the last season of the 98 Bulls, it's amazing.
I got it recorded.
It's so, man, and I've read every Michael Jordan biography there is known to man, and I've known everything. I'm just a huge fan of Michael Jordan growing up in North Carolina. Even though I went to Duke, I was a Carolina fan before I went to Duke, so I really just like loving Michael Jordan. And we'll go back to 1982 when he won the national championship.
Oh my God!
17 seconds, recorded a long
I don't have to watch the series now.
Yeah, well, it's I narrated it, and then they fired me, and then they got someone else to.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah. I have a Mother's Day gift for you.
Michael really? Jordan. I'm not a mother, but thank you. But I can.
I got Michael Jordan. He's coming on the podcast.
Oh, really? Oh my God, that'd be great.
We'll never get him.
Did we just?
Only Joe Rogan can get him, I think.
You know what? I will settle for Montel Jordan, which is close enough.
Okay. I'll get Montel Williams as well. If I can get Montel Williams and Montel Jordan.
All right. So I promise you, on the Darkest Timeline, we will get a Jordan, whether it'll be Montel, Michael B., or Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So
Jordan
either
Sparks.
way, one of the
Jordan Sparks, the singer,
or Jordan Sparks, anyone with the name Jordan. On. So that's amazing.
You like Jordan so much. How come you didn't name one of your daughters Jordan?
That was discussed.
No, it wasn't.
No, actually, how it was discussed. Literally, Tran had. I just normally couples argue about what to name the kids, and I was like, okay, get ready for an argument. And then Tran was like, Alexa and Zoe. I'm like, that's like perfect. That's like, so it was literally just like that. Just okay. She came up with the names, and I agreed.
That's great.
Yeah. How did you name your kids?
We joked that our first one would be called Eddie because it's kind of a family name, and then my grandfather's first name is Roy, and then we would always go, "Hey, Eddie Roy, get out of her stomach," and we just would pretend that his name was Eddie Roy, as we would I would sing, whatever you do when you first have a pregnant wife and or partner, that I would just call him Eddie Roy even before I knew it was a boy, and then it was a boy, and then there was that moment where we're like, we're gonna call him Eddie Roy, aren't we? And then we did, and that's how that happened. So he's Eddie.
You did know the gender. You did know the gender, and then
we just we joked around. We thought, well, if it's
right.
If it's a girl, then we're gonna probably do something else. But and then it just happened. And then Isaac, my wife's name is Sarah. I always like the name Isaac because of Children of the Corn and the evil guy. And also Isaac is the lead singer of the band Modest Mouse, which I really like. And then I always like that name. Wow. And then we found out in Hebrew, Isaac means Sarah laughs. So I was like, if we don't call him Isaac, then I don't know what. I don't know. Just call him nothing. Call him nothing, McHale.
What
Blank
Sarah
McHale.
Isaac means Sarah laughs. That's amazing.
In Hebrew, yeah. Because
wow.
Sarah in the Old Testament gave birth very late in life and named the kid Isaac because she burst out laughing when she found out she was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Dropping Hebrew knowledge on the darkest timeline, man.
Well,
Look at us.
my name is Joel, Book of the Bible, Hebrew name as well.
And we're back at bragging camp with Joel McHale.
Hi. I'm the chief counselor at bragging
chief
camp.
counselor. Yes.
Anyway. What did you get your name, Ken?
Huh?
How'd you get your name?
Well, Ken, it's actually Kendrick because my dad named me. Yeah, it is. Because my dad named me after Kendrick Lamar.
What? He was.
Yeah. No, dude, he's a time traveler.
He's
a time traveler that went back and then said, "Oh, I like Joel McHale's E-Class Mercedes joke." And while I'm here in the early aughts, I shall name my son Kendrick Lamar. And then he went back to 1960. Yeah, that's what happened.
Wow. He just knew that Kendrick Lamar was going to be
my dad is the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan.
Really?
90 years
What's
old.
his favorite album?
That one. It really was. That's what he told me. That's
That's nuts.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. That's what I told my dad. So what are you going to doubt my dad? Really? You're going to doubt my dad and get me mad and triggered like I was jogging on a treadmill, being triggered at 3 miles an hour.
Wow. Whoa, you were going on. You were really moving. Didn't realize you got up to 3 today. That's crazy.
Hey, dude,
the treadmill must have been scared.
You know what? Every and I just don't want to insult our fan base, but just every nerd on Twitter is telling me how to hold my Yeti mic and like, you're not holding it right. You're gonna like there's like a fame. Oh, this sounds right. Actually, what the people on Twitter told me. This is what, you know what?
Wait, to speak directly.
I stand corrected. This is you know what? Because the biggest feedback I get is great podcast. Joel sounds great, and your sound sucks. So, and I thought that was just a cultural thing, and it wasn't. It turned out it was just
Blue
Yeti.
What culture?
I don't know, the culture of people who don't know how to hold Blue Yeti mics.
Yeah,
no,
that's
not anti-Asian, just people who don't know how to hold, just middle-aged.
I didn't say Asian. What are you talking about? Why would you bring that up all of a sudden?
Because I can. All right.
You saying that Asian people don't know how to hold mics, and this is a cultural problem?
No, they're saying middle-aged Korean American males who are 50 years old, who's named after Kendrick Lamar, don't know how to hold Blue Yeti mics. And now, whatever, you know what?
How many years ago did you turn 50? Sorry. Don't hurt yourself when you lean back like that. Now it just looks like you have an enormous penis. An enormous robot penis.
We watch Ken masturbate for like an hour.
And like people that are.
And it was top 20.
Wait, going back. So you were talking into the mic like this the whole time?
I don't know what I was.
Like a crooner? Like you were in the Rat Pack or something?
It had to be you. Right?
Good thing you learned piano.
It had to be you. No. Where were we on New Mexico and Arizona? I'm still trying.
Oh yeah, let's go back to.
All right, let's go back.
The first part of the darkest timeline we like to talk about, because Ken is an actual doctor, and he still dresses like one if he is cast as one. And
cast as one? Is that what you said?
If he is cast as a doctor, he will dress as a doctor. And
like Dr. Ken, I had to create my own show to be cast as a doctor. Like no one would cast me as a doctor anymore. I was like, guys, I'm just gonna call the good folks at ABC and just tell them, give me a show. What are you gonna play? Me? Okay, we got nothing better to do. So that's how I got my show.
Wow.
Yep. That was my pitch meeting. I said, do you have anything better to do, ABC? They're like, nope. How about give me a show? They're like, you'll do. So
a lot of people don't realize.
They don't know how hard it is to put a show on.
That easy to get a show.
Yeah. I literally got them. They even make eye contact the whole time. They're playing Angry Birds, which was the game at the time. And then they're just going.
Different coats that doctors wear that when you would see them in the hospital, like different coat, different shapes and different quality, but you'd see a doctor wearing a certain coat that most people wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But as soon as you saw them, you're like, that's a douchebag surgeon.
No, but that's a great question though.
It is.
You have a short, back when I trained, which was in the 1890s, when you have a short white coat, that means
but you always have a short coat. So, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So
by the way, shout out to Jim Rash last week, one of our funniest episodes, and one of my funniest jokes that Joel has ever said was Jim Rash going, well, that payday rap didn't take too long. He goes, it took a long time, and Joel goes, no, it didn't. I think it was short, even shorter than Ken, and that just made me laugh. When you go from abstract to physical comparison in comedy. Well, that will always make me laugh. But no, when I'm wearing lab coat. Okay, so if you're wearing a long white lab coat, where I trained in North Carolina, that was a sign that you're an attending physician, a staff physician. And when you're wearing a short white lab coat, that meant you're a medical student. So we would know where I was trained in North Carolina. However, is different for different hospitals. But
so if you were to wear a long white lab coat as a student, what would happen?
No, that was just something that was assigned to you.
Would people go like, oh, look at it, Mr. Attending Physician here. Look at that. Oh yeah, where'd you get your long coat, huh? That's
exactly how they said that in North Carolina.
That's how doctors talk.
Except with an accent. Oh man, look at that little guy with the long coat. Who you think you are? A fugitive? I don't know. Why am I doing
looking
this?
For the one-armed man? Okay.
You looking for a one-armed man? You ain't gonna find him here. We got two arms here where we belong. Okay.
I think we got a movie. That's a movie.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make it too.
I just want to say congrats.
Good. Yeah.
Pull that as an audition.
I know. Well, I think I found the right man.
I talk directly into the mic like that. Because
if I go from the side, it's
you sound better. You sound better.
No, if you just are kind of on top of it.
Right? Really? How do I sound, Andrew? Does this sound good, Andrew? Is this good?
Still working.
Does this satisfy all the? Okay.
He's giving you the thumbs up.
Okay, because literally, I'll even print out like 20 tweets and all constructive. They're like, darling, you gotta like talk. Don't talk right above it. Gotta talk right here. They're like, give me. It's just like
go above.
Yeah, because you're taller than me. That's how short.
Okay, enough. Don't make your own jokes about yourself.
Yeah.
Could do one of these.
Hey man, hey, welcome to the darkest timeline. Yo, what's
up? Like a child.
What's up, dogs?
Have a little robot child. Okay, so
all right.
Shall we talk about the virus?
Yeah, I mean,
you want to go into doctor voice for me?
Do I have to?
Okay. I'm sorry to bring it up.
No, it really, man, it's
well,
you know, here's the issue right now. The issue is less about the technical. You know, we had a good week last week. You know, we're talking about remdesivir. We're talking about the vaccines and and kind of the potential for that. And nothing has changed on that front. I think what really is changing is, you know, is society. The states are reopening right now. 43 states, as of this recording, are planning on doing some sort of ease of restrictions by the end of this week. And, you know, it right now we're entering a balancing act of, you know, when can people go back safely? Are there creative measures where certain areas, let's say where I live, we're near Ventura County.
What's your address?
It's that, God, what's the name of that hard to get into? What's the name of that hard to get into cul-de-sac, sweetie? Okay, no.
The Kardashian effect?
And but no, we are. There's certain areas even in LA County where LA County is like the epicenter. Is half the cases essentially of all the COVID-19 cases in California are in LA County. So and here's our conundrum. Even locally here, we're very close to Ventura County, where, you know, Thousand Oaks is, and if anything, our case rate is actually much lower. And my wife and I literally having a discussion right now. Is our case rate is very low, and you know, it's not like a virus in one county or one end of a county is exactly the same as the other county or different. I mean, the viruses knows no bounds, but where we are geographically, we're closer to an area that's even more spread out, where the incidence is much lower. does that mean, that we can go about our days as a family? Everyone's having these discussions
Right.
privately right now,
or publicly over a
or
podcast.
public over a podcast, how to find the balance. It's I hate the word reopening because it sounds too black and white. I think everyone is looking for
Do you think
everyone's looking for a balance right now, and I think that's but for me, we're lucky to live in a state where I feel like the measures have been very consistent and very organized, and I feel like Governor Newsom and Mayor Garcetti have been working in lockstep, where there's not too much variation. And what I like about Newsom is that there are certain cities that are saying, hey, like the mayor of Yuba City is saying that the incidence is so low, in our area, there's an argument to reopen. And this is a California issue. And I give Governor Newsom credit. He's listening now to different areas of where and how to reopen areas where there's some small cities around the country that are like zero. So what do we do for that? Does that mean completely reopen? No. But does it mean that we can, relax certain issues and maybe ease some areas that are different, let's say, from New York City? I think those kind of nuanced discussions are going on right now, and it's irresponsible, I think, for me to say we should totally, everyone's fine, or even saying everyone is. We're at a point right now where everyone is living in a very unique environment in a unique area, and they should really go to their local government and figure out what the guidelines are and go from there. That's basically, because the federal government and I don't care if I say this. So they've been useless. So we have to go to our local and state governments for guidance. And you know what? That's good, because by and large, I've been very, very happy with the way our local government has been. It's been very easy for me to make decisions because my wife and I are like, okay, so what do we do? And the end, and our answer was like, okay, when we find out when citywide or countywide restrictions are eased, we'll just abide by that. So it's very easy for us because we're living in an environment where, I trust my government, and I trust and they're not denying the science, and they're letting this dictate. Now, there can be variations, there can be, splitting hair arguments of what to open and what not to open, and that will depend on city to city. But by and large, I've been extremely happy with how California is going, simply because
next week, if Governor Newsom said open up all the stores, and would you go into a shoe shop and like a runner store and take your kids into, if they said we're allowing 4 people in at a time if you wear gloves and a mask and you can shop for shoes, would you do that?
That's a great question. For me, therein lies there are two things, necessity,
right.
or
you have terrible
like
shoes. We all can agree your shoes are awful.
Everyone knows I'm a sandals gal, and but I do feel that based on need, it's all contextual at this point. For me, nothing changes. I'm gonna stay at home. I'm gonna stay at home as much as possible. I mean, but that's me, because I feel like there's excuse me, got to take a Coke Zero break.
Yeah, I think his body was crying out for Coke Zero.
Now,
wondering what was going on.
There's a Coke Zero.
It's been almost 4 minutes since he had
a Coke Zero Emporium in Rancho Cucamonga, and the government allows me to go to that Coke Zero Emporium, Yeah, maybe.
If you had the choice right now, if God gave you the power, you could either wipe out the virus instantly and it's gone, but if you do that, Coke Zero will have never existed, and you're the only one that would know that it had existed, but it would no longer be on the planet.
It would wipe out the virus, and I would switch over to Diet Coke. That's an easy answer.
Okay. You got me there.
Question.
Okay.
So there you go. All right. And there's always Diet Barks, There's There's always Diet Mr. Pibbs, Diet Dr. Peppers, anything that the Coca-Cola company will allow me to drink on a diet level.
Why are they not
Coca-Cola.
giving us millions of dollars right
Presents the
now
darkest timeline.
to rebuild your office so you can have a proper set behind you?
They're going to call me and say, Ken, we really appreciate everything you and Joel have been doing. Here's an empty can. You know what? I'll take it.
They're like, what if we send you smaller cans to make your hands look enormous? Sorry.
We'll send you Ken Jeong cans.
So Ken, yeah, because I feel like last week everyone was talking about remdesivir, like that was the thing, but now all it is this week is when can we open? When can we open? When can we open? And I feel like that's how the press has moved. And from my deduction, I feel like there's the way we can be out in a regular way is by being tested at every site we go to in some sort of science fiction like world where we can just have tests all the time. Am I crazy?
No, you're getting into. It's funny. You're getting into. You're not crazy at all. That's the most sane I've ever heard you, because I really think that this is. We don't have an adequate system in place. I mean, Chuck Schumer every day on Twitter is saying it is May 6th and we still don't have a national testing system in place. We need to reopen now, and that's something that the federal government can and should do, is put a system in place, even if the system is not perfect, to have the intent to do that.
I saw this report on Greece, and obviously
the
Greece
musical or the country.
What?
The musical or the country. Sorry.
This is okay. Yeah, okay. The musical, the redone one with Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
And basically, obviously Greece has had its problems in the last 20 years, but for the COVID virus, they have been nailing it, and I think it's the lowest instance in Europe, and they're testing everybody, and they haven't had a single doctor or I might be speaking out of turn here, but like a nurse or doctor actually get the virus the way that many have while treating them, and they are testing everyone. So they're opening up now, and their leader's like, I don't know how it's gonna go, but we're just gonna test everything all the time. And I was like, this seems to be a pretty good plan. It's definitely working. I mean, I know that it's an open road and it's unknown still what's really gonna happen, but when I read that whole thing and saw their president interviewed, or prime minister or king, I'm kidding. But I was like, well, that seems to be the way to go.
So testing.
Yes.
Basically. I mean, that's exactly, I mean, we keep hammering that. It sounds so redundant, but yeah, it's testing, because you don't know what you got unless you got it. It's just still ridiculous that we don't have a testing system in place there's two types of testing: antibody testing and just, do you have it or not? All right. The nasal swab, as they typically use here. So, to not have that in mass quantities right now, 6 weeks in, 8 episodes into the Darkest Timeline podcast of why we did this podcast to begin with, to not have a system in place. Are you fucking kidding me? It's just like, it just goes beyond logic as a doctor to not have a system in place. And, I'm not asking for perfect execution of that system, because I guarantee you, even if you had a system in place, it would still be flawed, because executing that, having the mass quantities, there's just going to be execution problems with that.
Is there a consistent test at this point? Is there a test that's fully reliable? Because we have a friend who lives in the South. She has been sick for the last 3 weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And they thought, she's got the virus.
Yeah.
Because she had TB when she was in her 20s.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, she's got the virus. And then it said, oh, no, she doesn't have the virus. She might just have mono and pneumonia. So they're not, she's gotten mixed results on these tests, which she's taken multiple times. And I guess that's my other worry, is that, are the tests reliable at this point?
Depends on the test. Now, are you looking for serologies or antibody? No,
if it's an antibody test.
If it's an antibody test right now, there's a few of them. there's like a dozen of them, I think that are because they've just allowed people just hacks off the street could just go to a doctor's office and try to sell antibody testing.
When you heard the word hack, did you kind of go, oh?
I said, what? Am I doing a show? And
all right.
Yeah, but there's so many there's so many shitty tests out there, and there's some really good shitty tests, and the really good tests out there that aren't shitty at all. That have, you got to look here's the deal. Anyone listening to this looking for an antibody test, ask your doctor what's the sensitivity and specificity of these tests. Okay, so let's say like I've read that Quest Diagnostics, which is a lab that outsources to Kaiser Permanente, where I used to work, they have a sensitivity, according to them, 100% and 99% specificity. Now, I don't know that data. I believe that's internal. That's not independently investigated. So, but by those numbers, those are amazing numbers. If you have a test that's 100% sensitive and really, really high specificity, because what you worry about the false positives. And if you have an antibody test that is not specific, that doesn't have high specificity rates, then you're going to get a lot of false positives. Right. So that's what you worry about. So,
then once, say you have a good antibody test, it says you have the antibodies, you might have had it, but there is no clue as to whether you can get it again or not. Right?
Okay, there are clues whether you can get it again or not, but it's not firmly established. No, but going by your interview with Dr. Schiffer, there's still, I think the official line is the jury's out. I mean, we're operating under that assumption. Okay, everyone is operating under that hope that if you have an IgG or the antibody, the long-term antibody to COVID-19, that's a marker for immunity, and that will allow us to reopen the economy. That is the hope. That is the optimistic assumption that we all have.
That's how it usually goes if you have.
That's how it usually goes. But again, if you want to be scientific about it, if you want to go by the data, has that been 100% proven? No, because we're going through it right now. We don't know until we know. So there might be something out that says you can get reinfected rates. Although South Korea a couple of weeks ago disputed that because there was an alleged reinfection or a second infection in a patient, in South Korea by someone who allegedly already had COVID-19 infection, but that was proved to be, a false test. There was errors in testing on that. So you're really opening up a whole can of worms that is so difficult to answer. And you could talk to 10 different doctors, all smarter than me, and they can still give you 10 nuanced different answers. But right now, we are operating under
1,000 doctors smarter than you.
You can talk to 1,000 doctors. You could talk to Dr. Dre, Dr. Pepper. You could talk to a bunch of
Mr.
Pibb. Mr. Pibb lost his license, and he was a lawyer. So,
writing bad checks. All right.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard?
Yeah.
Now, because Dr. Schiffer, now I'm just going to refer to him, the Schiff. Keeping once you get it.
It's a WWE character, by the way, right? Isn't
the
that
Schiff?
Yeah, the Schiff.
Yeah.
Didn't he face off against the Body Ventura?
He's at Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research, so we call him the Schiff at the Hutch.
The Schiff at the Hutch.
But he thinks that if you get diagnosed, stay at home, and then you do that tracing thing where you find out everybody.
What Joel's saying is contact tracing, which is an amazing.
And then you hunt those people down, you put them in nets, and you drag them to some. Wait, that's wrong. I was thinking of.
I think that's it's kind of like off the Fugitive spinoff. We will not hunt. We will not rest until we find all the contacts, and then put them all together, and then get serologies. And that's what they would. That would be the new update. But no, contact tracing.
That's how he thinks. Stay at home while you have it. Don't go anywhere, and just do self-care there. Obviously, you have people come and help you, but then the contact tracing.
Contact tracing is really that if done right, it's It really is the answer, because you're mapping every, to the best of everyone's memory, where they've been, and who they've come in contact with. And then you do enough of that. Massachusetts was the first state that started doing that. And
it's working, right?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is the next wave of figuring out how, it's like if you're doing like a Law and Order episode, and you're doing that little thread of yarn to everybody else who's been affected with COVID-19. I just think that's the way that's really the way to get a handle on this. But guess what? We need more testing, which we don't have. And and again, it's just like literally having a team that's the best. I don't know, that's the best basketball. Let's say the 98 Bulls, but you don't have enough basketball. But you don't have enough basketball.
Are you watching something on ESPN with the Bulls? Do you want to bring that up again? Go ahead.
Episode 7, Dream Last Dance. Dig it. But it's like having an amazing basketball team and you don't have enough basketballs. It's like, what are we gonna do? And so it's all about the tracing, and it's all about like the mask right now. The people wearing the mask, like California is easy because they've kind of normalized that. But you hear about other people in the states, just tragedies, senseless tragedies that are happening right now because of like, I don't want to be told to wear a mask or not. It's ridiculous. And I even said on Twitter, face masks are like the granny style free throw of society right now. It aesthetically is less than pleasing, but it's way more effective, and you're being prevented. You're not only helping yourself not get infected, you're helping other people not get infected. It's
and some of them are really cool.
Yeah. No, I saw there was actually a great paparazzi photo of you the other day. I saw you had like a mask with a smiley face on.
Yes, because I feel like people
really good.
Yeah, scared to talk to people when they have a mask on because everyone looks like they're about to get robbed. So I thought, smiley face. And then my friend said, "You look like you're in the Purge." And I'm like, great, scary.
Well,
yeah, my friend made that for me. He's
get a plug. Give a shout out. What's
Japanese designer Daisuke? It's got a company called Perspective Flow. They're out of San Pedro.
It was really good.
Yvette, what's going on?
Yvette Nicole Brown.
Hi guys. How are you?
Fine.
Nice setup.
Look at that.
You like that? Thank you. There's so many lights on me, you guys. So many lights.
Well, no, I like the pillow. It looks like you're part of like a cool Middle East, like you're in a tent somewhere in the desert. You're gonna sit.
Here we go. Already beginning. It's already.
No. It's a very, very reputable opium den.
Thank you.
Right?
How about this?
Show some respect.
How about this? You guys want this?
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
It not only got.
What?
It gave you an instant haircut, and
I know, I lost my gun.
That's so cool. And a frozen Danny in the corner.
All right, that's what he was coming in with his tux on. All right, we'll do my Middle Eastern.
Okay, what app is
no,
that?
it's right on Skype. It's you can choose your background. Like I can blur myself out, or you can add something. So.
Oh my
You've
God.
just blown our mind, Yvette, and I'm not kidding.
That's amazing. We should copy that idea from Yvette, and and
wow.
just say that it's our own.
I can hear.
Okay, when you do that.
Hi. I'm sorry, Bubby. Oh, your idea alone. But I do like the hair. I do like the hair bob going in and out.
I know it's distracting.
That's exactly the problem on Community, right? Sometimes the head bob would like sometimes disappear in some takes and then it would come back. Is that right? Is that my memory? Is my memory wrong on the show?
I think it's
getting
wrong.
old. I think you're right.
Ken, you're a lot older than Yvette and I. So
Shots fired.
Yeah, so we'll
respect your elders. How about that, Joel?
Huh?
How about that? Respect your elders. Respect your elders.
Did we start?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This is how we start.
Oh, okay.
This is how we do it.
Oh,
as the great Michael Jordan says, this is how we do it.
Wasn't Michael Jordan a little unprofessional, but I'm used to it from you two, so we're just gonna go with it. We'll go with how there's no intro, no we love her, just right into okay.
Yvette,
well, I wanted
a compliment, and I will allow it. So as I say on Community, I will allow it. So
I wanted to do a big, huge intro, and then Ken was like,
I had a problem with that. So
Ed Joel, if you were allowed to do what you want to do for the first time in life, what would you have said?
Wait, first time ever in my life?
And you never get to do what you want to do. So if you were allowed this time to do what you wanted to do, Joel, what would you have said about me?
I would go, ladies and gentlemen, it is the main event here at Madison Square Garden.
Yvette Nicole Brown is up for downtown.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yvette
Nicole Brown, Philadelphia's finest. I'll just keep going.
No,
Baltimore's finest.
No, East Cleveland. Do you guys want to talk about how I had to beg to be included for this? How I had to rally?
I'd rather not, Yvette. I'd rather not, and I'll tell you why. Because we'll cut it. And
well, then there's no point in me wasting my breath.
I would rather not, because I will chop that out.
Okay, fine. I just wanted to give
Yvette, you didn't know that Ken was the editor?
No, I did not.
Oh my God, these podcasts are only 3 minutes long because it is just all my takes. It's great to have this creative control.
He still tries to burn them onto CDs and distribute them.
Yeah. When I go back on the road, and doing my shows, I'm just gonna sell this as merch. The greatest of the darkest timeline, Ken Jeong Criterion Collection, 1 minute and 30 seconds long. So, but you know what I have though, which is unprecedented for me. My mission honestly is to answer more than 2 questions on this podcast that are community related. We never get to that. Look, you have no idea. I have 30.
Look at that. Look at that.
I have 30 Shirley questions.
Let me tell you why I'm not impressed with that little stack of papers you pull up every time, because you do it as like a prop, but then you never follow through. So I don't care what's on that paper because we'll never get to it.
Yeah, aren't you impressed, Yvette, that he has a picture of you that he printed out as if he needs to help identify you when you
it's
come
all
on
propaganda.
the podcast?
It's all propaganda. I have this picture, and it's the same picture over and over again. But you know what? The problem, most of these are Garrett questions, and I do realize that. Okay. So, I'm trying to disguise them all as like 30 Shirley questions, but most of them for Garrett and magnitude. I won't lie. And I just wrote the name Shirley down to make myself look in front of the bed. So here's a question right now.
Oh, no. Wait, you're really going to do this, Ken? We haven't even asked her how she's doing.
I mean, it's the middle of a pandemic, Ken.
How are you doing?
Hi, Bubby. I'm doing okay. Thanks for checking on me.
Yeah, no problem. And we're going to start. We're going to cut all that other stuff out.
No.
In.
Wait, Yvette, are you going out? Are you going to grocery stores? You wearing a mask and getting out?
I have to every now and again, because you guys know I take care of my dad, so I have to go.
Right.
I tried Instacart. I was trying to get eggs on Instacart, which turned into a 4-day opus. So now I just do the mask, do the gloves, and just run in and get it and get out, and then disinfect everything when I get home.
How hard could eggs be?
And they apparently this will help your viewers. On Instacart, you're not ordering what they have, you're ordering what they sell. So anything that they sell,
what they have, but what they sell.
So you'll order it and you'll say, I want eggs, I want milk, whatever. And they'll go, great. And then they'll text you and go, there's no eggs and no milk. And then they can't go to another store to get it. So you're just SOL. So not against Instacart. I think it's great when it works, but it didn't work for me. So I had to go to the store.
So then you just said, yeah, okay.
And
did the store's pretty good.
Yes. I love it. I love that you don't know what's happening out there. You haven't been out, have you? You haven't had to go to a grocery store.
Me?
You haven't.
I go all the time.
Really?
I go to the Coke Zero Emporium.
Ask anyone they've seen you.
I'm out and about.
No, you're not. No, stay home. You should stay home. But
I went to Whole Foods yesterday. I went to Gelson's the day before. I went to the farmer's market on Sunday.
Well, you shouldn't be there. That's
the farmer's market is best. It's open air.
Yeah, but it's air. Dr. Ken, tell him.
And they're very far apart at the farm. The stalls are very far apart.
I've seen pictures. No, they're not.
Joel never listens to me. It's a whole thing about this podcast, Joel. This is kind of like a thing where I don't think headphones.
Anyway, let's just keep talking.
Let's just keep talking. All right.
Do you guys miss me? I miss you.
I miss you, Bubby.
Miss you, and that pillow is spectacular.
Thank you.
I'm going to buy one of those.
And that's how we're going to start off the interview, and we're not going to. we're gonna cut all that other stuff
cut all
out.
that other stuff.
When was the last time? We know the last time we saw each other.
It was over a delicious meal.
Oh yeah.
It was over a delicious meal, and Ken did not drink very much.
Ken didn't drink at all that night. It was.
Oh man.
It was not.
Nope.
That night was. I saw things that I'll never forget that night, and I saw things that Ken will never remember.
Okay, we've already talked about it freely on the podcast. This was during Vulture Fest, where Joel took us out to a lovely
Delicious.
Restaurant, delicious steak restaurant, and
APL Steak in Hollywood.
APL Steak in Hollywood, and this was back in October, I guess, and it was so much fun, and I had I had been drinking a little bit to the point. Just a little, where just a little bit where I didn't remember a lot, and then
But there was some. Can I remember you shrieking at the top of your lungs for most of the time?
I don't. I thought, yeah,
in a fun-loving way.
I think so. I think I was just reading the Tina Fey autobiography, Bossy Pants. Is that the name of it? And I just kept reading it out loud at a corner.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I was minding my own business. Well, you guys were rowdy, and bowdy.
Yeah, it was us.
That's you guys.
I do remember that you had 2 sips of champagne and then laid down on the couch.
It was good night time. I had a dream that Donald Glover was there. It was a beautiful dream.
It was so. And we talked about it on the podcast where it was. It was a magical night because usually, when people drink, they drink because you're stressed out or feel bad or it's usually something with negative. But this was a situation where I was just enjoying myself and drinking where, when I don't think I've ever been happier, when it comes to like the show where you had Dan, you had Chris, the whole cast, and then when Donald showed up, thanks to Joe, I was just beyond thrilled. And I have to thank you on the record, Yvette. Boy. You called my driver and said you got to get him home, because I saw a text. Hi, you go hi Eddie, this is Yvette. I'm on Ken's phone and I'm please take care of him, and
please get him home
Yvette
safely.
saved my life.
I did. Let me say this about you though.
Saved my life.
Let me say this about you when you're a little drunk.
Yeah.
A little.
Or very.
You're delightful. Like I so enjoyed
He's a good
you.
drunk.
There was so much. You were just loving and boisterous.
Yeah.
And just fun. And as long as you get home safely, I'll allow it.
Thank you, Yvette. You saved my life, and you saved me because and I believe you told me this, reminded you or Joel. They told me, like, I think Joel was like, hey, let's go to another bar down the street for an after, and then Yvette's like, no and then,
way.
Like Yvette, according to I have no memory of the because no, you're going in.
You're going in the car and you're going home.
And and it was. You saved my life, Yvette. So I owe you that. You know what? Maybe we don't edit anything, and in honor of you, maybe we show this as is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Out of respect to Yvette, who put in the most prep of any guest we've had on the show, actually had the green screen or whatever filter.
Yeah.
No guest on the show.
When we started, when you got that, we saw that.
Say it again. Yeah.
We saw it. Okay, good.
We saw it. I mean, no one on the show before probably or since will ever have that study room. That study room graphic's amazing. So
it's pretty cool.
We should do that on ours, and we'll give you credit. Well, there'll be profit sharing, even though we don't make any money.
Make money up. Oh,
no, even though there are no ads.
No.
All right, let's get to Ken's question.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
All right.
No, Yvette, repo.
Joel, really? That was you doing Dusty album cuts on this thing?
What was
Dusty?
What's his name?
Dude, that might be the name of this episode. Dusty album cuts.
Dusty album cuts. B-sides. That's for us because we're of a certain age, the three of us, so we know what a B-side is, what a Dusty B-side album cut is. You know.
We're also these are the same 3 people from Community who have been on The Masked Singer. We're the only people from Community. That's what we have in common.
I was so honored.
I can honestly say, Yvette, you brought it way more than Joel did the multiple times he was there. Joel was the anti-singer. Yvette crushed it. Yvette crushed it so hard, and it was so good. It was like there was like an air of joy. There was an air of music. It felt right. And
he's trying to divide us, Joel. Don't let him do it. He's trying to break up our love.
Great to have someone from Community I love on the show and just rip it up. And it wasn't just like a network favor, to have Joe McHale on. It was great to have a friend and someone who I love, and it was so great. And but no, everyone crushed it. So like Robin Thicke was just like, man, Yvette just brought it. And he goes, what about Joe McHale? And Robin Thicke said, yeah, I know him. And so it was,
not true.
It was great.
I feel like you're just making these stories up to try to insult me.
I don't think so. Just the facts.
When was the last time you texted with Robin?
I called him last week. Actually, we talked. We FaceTimed, if you will, and he sang me a song he sings me a song once a week before I go to bed. It's just really it's really cool.
Do you believe him?
Yeah.
I do not.
Okay. All right. Community question.
Yes.
Yes.
Jude Law. What was Jude?
Ignoring that.
No, wait. I have a question about The Island.
Oh my God. You have picked every movie that I'm in for like a nanosecond, which is all my films. I do drive-by acting.
Hey,
me too. You had a bigger Tropic Thunder. You had a good size. That was.
No, it's another.
Good.
I mean, it was good because the scenes are with Matthew McConaughey, but I literally am in.
Now, Yvette, what is it like to have a speaking role in a Marvel movie? Like, what? Just describe to me what it's like. I mean, I get big.
It was
but,
my decision.
Hey, can you please do an impression of your role right now and not say anything?
Oh.
Okay. You want me to do my impression of Marvel's? Avengers Endgame. All right, I'll do it right now. I'll just be like this.
Yeah. Avengers Endgame.
Here. I opened the portal for Ant-Man to save the universe, but here's me. I look at here and I go. I'll go like this. And they muted it, but then I go. And scene.
And then
that took
actually
18 hours to film because the Russos told me that I wasn't doing a good enough job.
You blew the takes over and over.
I wouldn't stop laughing. and Joe and
Ken, were you
Joe and Anthony look at Kevin Feige and go like, "Sorry."
Were you on screen with Paul Rudd at any moment?
I was actually when he
walks away. When he walks
away.
Paul Rudd's back is in the scene with you.
No, if you look closely, Paul Rudd leaves the storage space, and I'm blurry in the background.
You're not blurry. I knew it was you.
Tran recognized it was me because of my bad posture. She was like, "There's no background actor in the world can have as worse cinematic posture."
So then,
it was my wife, supposedly my ally, totally zinging me like at Avengers Endgame. And by the way, Yvette, I would say, had the biggest part of any Community cast member. Like you were in multiple scenes, and we were howling because your eyes in the elevator, like with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. It was just boom. It was so.
I learned all of my good eye and eyebrow work, all my skills on the set of Community, because I was always going, oh.
I'll make your ass sense.
Joel.
I'll make your ass sense.
Yeah, it's all eye work. It's all right here.
That's my favorite Shirley line.
Yeah, but Yvette, you were able to play off of Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. I mean, you could look them in the eye, receive acting from them, then you receive back.
Paul had his
back. And then, as opposed to Tran going, Quasimodo. And
seriously, that is kind of what she said.
Oh,
no, I live in the land of zings. It's
Bubby, I knew it was you, and I loved your work in Endgame.
It was really, but it's funny. You and I have talked about this after we didn't know
each other had done it.
We didn't know each other had done it, and then non-disclosure, and then we also didn't know that we didn't know which of it would it be a two-part event. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, did you shoot while they were doing Infinity War as well? I shot during Infinity War. So I thought I was going to be in Infinity War. So when Infinity War came out and I wasn't in it, I was like, well, it was just nice to get the shot, so much so that when Endgame came out, I didn't go to the premiere. Ken, you went. I didn't go because I didn't think I was in it. So I found out from Ken that I was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, that said, Ken will go to any premiere that he even smells.
Yeah.
So.
Did I sneak into Endgame? Yes, I did.
Yes, I
Did I sneak in? Did I get in and stay in? Yes, I did. Was I
What are you
kicked
doing
out
here
right
at
after
Sonic
my
the
thing?
Hedgehog? I just
I don't know. I might be in it, guys. I might open up the portal. You know, that's what I say to every movie. I just get in. Dude, I'm a celebrity. Let me in. I what do? I open up the portal. I do that in every movie now.
Yeah.
Every red carpet. Yeah, okay. This is yeah, let me in. That's why I do it.
What did your phone do once it premiered? Did your phone explode with people
Mine?
texting you? Yes.
Yes, and the funny thing is, I went with a group of friends. We have like a nerd group, a black nerd group, or blurred group, if you will, a luncheon, a brunch group, and so we all went together. And I really was not sure because Ken jokes a lot, so I didn't know.
You didn't trust me.
I didn't know. I didn't know. And this is the thing, Ken. I still didn't tell anybody. I told no one. So I
think there was a disbelief. I do remember for real when I texted you. I was like, and I texted you. Were not only were you in it, you were great in it, and you're like, really?
Like,
I don't think you trusted my compliment.
Right, because the way I remember, I didn't do much in it. I just remember being in the elevator, and I was so excited to work with them that I don't think I even processed what I was doing. I was just trying to keep the gig. And so I went with my group of friends, and the movie was almost over. Like, we're in like, what, two-thirds in? And I hadn't appeared. They had all tried. And so I didn't know. So it was a nice surprise, even in the theater.
Well, my phone didn't explode, Joel, and I'll tell you why. I felt
I didn't ask. I didn't ask if
you know what? Yeah, thank you for asking. No one really, no one really, and I quote, knew or cared about my appearance.
I knew cared. I knew.
And when you
and that was over a meal. That was from one of my kids during a meal. So,
and when you insult yourself, it makes me look like a dick. So
yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. The dick is timeline. I make you look. So, but it was really, I mean, because it's really nice that the Russo brothers not only acknowledge Community, but Arrested Development. In Infinity War, David Cross was in a Blue Man Group outfit, and he was in suspended animation when I think when they introduced Guardians of the Galaxy. There was a scene there, and he also had it just, and David didn't know he was going to be in it. There's all these Easter eggs.
We didn't even know that. Ken, how many times have you watched yourself in that movie?
Look, I was looking, and I had these Beat by Dre headphones just to hear. Like, I think I whispered something. Maybe I can pay on this movie, because if I whisper something, then I can go back to Disney and say, "Hey, pay me more money, yo." Well, look, I think you heard me.
You got paid for that? You got paid? Did you? I did it for free.
So at Sunnyside Street asks,
what? Sunnyside Street?
At Sunnyside Street.
Wait. Is he like a gunslinger from the 1860s?
He's not a gunslinger. No, he lives on the side of a street. And he asks, what is Shirley's middle name?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Should we just make up one? I don't know that she has one.
You heard it here first from Yvette Nicole Brown.
I mean, I'm good for making a name up for someone, though, but I never thought of making her a middle name. I'll think of one. Shirley Ann. Let's make her Shirley Ann Bennett.
Shirley Ann Bennett, that we knew from the pilot. And McLovin asks, I want to know,
Christmas Plus.
Not Christmas Plus, but it's someone who's using that handle.
Wait, but he's McLovin. I don't understand. Okay, go ahead.
I want to know everything about Shirley's hair journey. How many Shirley wigs were there?
Oh, first of all, how dare you?
How dare you?
All my hair.
Chris, how dare you?
They weren't.
You're in the business.
There were so many Shirley
she's saying how dare to you for even reading that question, not to the person.
There were like,
none of the player anyway.
I think she had like at least 2 a season. Sometimes it was the first season. I think it was actually a weave, which I'd never had before. First time getting a weave, and then it was a ponytail that they just popped on. Like, it went through a lot of phases. So every year, like two wigs or hair piece things, I think.
Is that something you would have ever kept? Did you like any of them?
I mean, it's a couple of them were natural hair, real hair. So, but I didn't keep them. By the end of our 22 episodes or whatever, they had been through hell. So 16 hours a day, slapping that sucker on. No, I didn't keep them.
Okay.
Well, no one's asking, but I wore an amazing mullet in Endgame. Now, at Trentopian
Is that no
royalty.
one's asking?
Okay.
Is that a Twitter account that
What?
you just read from?
What? I'm sorry.
The Twitter account. And Ken, just
Sorry.
so you
Oh,
know,
I'm
you
sorry,
are
Joe, I
now
can't
not
hear.
talking into your microphone
I'm
correctly.
sorry, Joe. I can't hear you. Okay. Sorry.
You twisted the mic.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
focus.
sorry about that. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It's
Okay.
okay. No, I love you guys, and any time with you is a good time for me.
Thank you,
This is
Yvette.
good. I mean, Ken wants to start drinking, believe me, but
Ken.
there it is.
Ken, was that an ad? Do they sponsor?
That you have no
No, we
idea.
really want them to
company.
sponsor.
I don't
We
know
do
how
want them to
his
sponsor us.
bladder doesn't explode all over his computer.
I have
Always a
Always
bridesmaid.
a Bridesmaid. That
that.
was written by Yvette Nicole Brown.
Yeah, and it's streaming on Netflix along with
Streaming on
Community.
Netflix and was nominated for an Image Award.
I was nominated.
So Yvette wrote and Yvette, she has
Congrats.
2 shows. She has 2 shows on Disney Plus. She is the busiest person out of all of us.
No, that's not
Community.
true. That's not
Yeah, no, you are. Who's busier? No one.
You guys, actually, you have a
I'm not-
podcast you're doing every week. Donald Glover works all the time. Allison Brie has like a show on Netflix called Glow. Like everybody's working. I'm not the busiest for sure.
Except
Well,
except
no one's
us.
writing.
Okay,
it.
moving
I'll
on
just
to the
give-
next question.
Hey, Yvette,
Yes, baby.
when you cast Ken in a non-speaking role in Always a Bridesmaid,
Why don't you save this for Russo?
did
Save
you
Joe.
just do? Was that a coincidence, or did you
Save
just
it.
want to continue?
He had a
Ken's-
really great monologue that had to get cut, unfortunately. So we're going to put that on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's on the Blu-ray. Well, the Blu-ray already came out. The second Blu-ray.
The second Blu-ray. The second one's always the better
The
Blu-ray.
second Blu-ray
I
is always
agree.
the
The second
best.
Blu-ray is the real Blu-ray.
And I said, this was in the script, and I said, step aside, rat. And then I
Yeah.
said, I'll open up the portal.
That's
Ant-Man,
exactly.
come hither. And
That's
then,
right. That's
Yeah.
And
the
yet you didn't even
and I looked
say.
straight down the barrel. I said,
Yep.
step aside, rat.
as one
Ant-Man,
does. As one does.
bring it.
Right down the barrel.
Ready to save the universe.
Damn.
And then I stole a snap from Jim Rash. I went like this to Paul.
Yeah.
Like that. I just kept doing that.
All of that was in.
When did that movie get released, Yvette?
Oh, Always a Bridesmaid. It
Yeah.
debuted on BET in September of last year, and then it went on Netflix April 1st. So it's only been there a little over a month.
You hear that? Stop watching Extraction, unless. Excuse me.
Oh wait, wait.
The Russos produced that.
That's
So watch
right.
Extraction.
Watch Extraction. I got it wrong. Community was April 1st. Always a Bridesmaid was March 1st. So it's been on 2 months. There we go. Sorry, I had to get that right.
Okay.
And Vampires Suck. Still for free on Vudu. Dig
Really?
it. Check it out.
Uh-huh. Why do you think it's free?
Oh, because I wanted to. Because
Oh.
I'm not in, I'm not Johnny Corporate, all right? So I'm just not,
Johnny,
He
you don't
cares
think
about
it's
the little
like
guy. He cares about the
Yeah.
little guy.
I care about the little guy myself.
It's not like a garbage bag with a hole in it that nobody just kind of. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. At Case Thinks says, what do you think was the best Shirley episode?
Ooh, the best Shirley episode?
Yeah.
Do we have any Shirley episodes? Best Shirley episode.
Well, what about the arc with Malcolm Jamal Warner? I
Oh,
think
that was
just
always-
general. That
Yeah.
arc in general,
Anytime I got to act with Malcolm Jamal Warner, anytime I got to act was great, but Malcolm Jamal Warner scenes and arcs were particularly gratifying. And I'll say this: when Shirley gave birth to baby Ben, that was a Shirley kind of centric episode. So I'll go with that one. That was a
What
lot.
about our foosball episode?
dude.
Oh,
my-
that was.
my
I'm
kids
sorry, Tinkle
love- My kids
Tinkletown.
love that anime episode so much that is one of our most watched episodes in our family because they love, like, during the anime. This is how brilliant the show is. During the anime, Jeff and Shirley they're making up, in their apology arc, and they're going like, "You're great." And Shirley says, "Thank you." And it's still like an anime form.
Right.
And then Jeff goes, "You're welcome." And it is so I mean, it just comes out of nowhere, and I swear to God, that is one of, like, in our family, one of our favorite episodes of all time, precisely because of the great acting that you did, Yvette, and just you standing there, Joel, and then also the anime that was just worked in was amazing. And then you had Nick Kroll, who is one of my favorite, comedic actors.
I actually need to apologize because that actually was a Shirley and Jeff centered episode, and I had a great time working with Joel on that, and when we were gossiping together. That was another fun
that
Joel
was good.
Shirley romp. We always did bad things together, Joel.
That's because of our history as from we were children.
I had grounded stuff with you, Joe. Remember I attacked you from an air vent? It's very similar. So I had a lot of great grounded scene work. Remember I attacked you like a spider monkey and I just kind of okay. Yeah, the spider monkey episode. Okay.
I will say that joke that obviously Dan wrote, but when Nick Kroll, they pick up Nick Kroll and he swings his body and he kicks the soccer ball past us. And then they walk out triumphantly.
It's genius.
It's genius. And then, of course, Dan builds another joke where we go like, he totally just lost that ball just for the bit. That's like a $25 ball.
That wasn't an ad lib? I thought that was an improv that you did because it felt so good.
Oh,
was that in the script?
No,
that felt like an improv you did. I remember that scene.
That was not.
That was
wow,
so good.
Oh
my God.
Thank you.
Joel, you did good.
Hey, why are you saying it like it's a surprise? It's weird.
At Rusty Skunks.
What? Oh, Rusty Skunks.
Oh, Rusty Skunks.
What? That's our biggest fan, Rusty Skunks.
Oh, okay. Rusty Skunks, yeah.
Rusty Skunks.
Okay, what is he doing?
What?
They opened for Rascal Flatts.
I literally had 10 tweets ask me this. What happened to Shirley's sandwiches after everyone left? What happened? Everyone's asking what happened to Shirley's sandwiches.
I mean,
it's like 10 of them that had asked.
You want me to wax poetically? Like I could say that I think it's thriving and it's even bigger than Jersey Mike's now. That's what I think. But I don't know what happened to Shirley because it wasn't in season 6, was it? Shirley was gone, so it wasn't. You guys
we had the butcher and the baker in season 6.
We did, but you guys never you didn't hang out in the cafeteria and have a delicious Shirley sandwich in season 6. No, because you guys built the portal.
I think we're at a CBS Rapper commentary.
Wasn't the speakeasy? The speakeasy was behind Shirley's sandwiches, right? I thought. You guys were in season 6. Why don't you know this?
I don't know.
I can hardly remember what day it is.
If Gillian was here, Gillian would know.
Gillian would know. Gillian and Andy would know.
They're the historians.
She is the oral historian.
Because I have a Yahoo season 6 question for Yvette on this.
Do it.
At 2 dicks, and I'm not even kidding.
At what?
2 dicks.
How do they spell
2 dicks?
X with an X. You know, to make sure that this is an
jazz band. Maybe they're a duo. Okay.
Yeah. Is there a potential romance between Detective Butcher and Shirley in The Butcher and the Baker? That was amazing. For those of you watching, like the community fans on the Yahoo season, Shirley spun off with Steven Weber, I believe.
Steven Weber, yes.
It's amazing, and they did this amazing.
We had a lot of chemistry. We had a lot of chemistry, and that scene was directed by Nat Faxon and Jim Rash. I just pulled a Gillian and remembered that.
Wow.
And I was shooting The Odd Couple at the time, and we shot both shows on CBS Radford. So I kind of came over on one of the days I got off early over there because we would get off early over there, guys, because it was a multicam. So we'd have like a 4-hour day. So on one of my 4-hour days, I just kind of came over. You know about the great indoors. You know what that life is like.
Yes. As I said, the great indoors is much like True Detective. It just, one season was all wrapped up. It's all done.
It deserved more and better, doggone it, CBS.
Well, so did The Odd Couple. You had quite a cast.
Look, all of us actually went on the multicams after Community. I don't think it's a coincidence. Like Dr. Ken, Great Indoors, Odd Couple.
Yeah, we ran.
It's kind of.
I didn't thought about that.
That's a great pattern.
We were willing to do anything for decent hours.
It was a nice palate cleanser.
We needed a break. How do we make the same amount of money and then have a break at the same time?
Dude, the same amount of money for like a 20-hour week. Anybody that asked me, why did I leave? It's like I couldn't take care of my dad doing 16-hour days. I loved what we were doing on the show. I loved being on Community, but I couldn't take care of my dad. And on Odd Couple, I could.
Testify, yeah. It was, and the hours on any single camera show in general are just way more. The amount of work it takes.
The hours on Endgame for you, Yvette, were so much more than Ken's. And because they didn't even need to put a mic on him.
A lot of time with my performance on Endgame, way more than they should.
What? Okay.
Spent a whole week, Kevin Feige had to be flown in to give me tips.
Oh my gosh, it was that big of an emergency.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to do an emergency thing.
Are you guys sponsored by the Blue mic? Because this is a great commercial. You guys both have isn't that the Blue?
This is the Blue Yeti, yeah.
The Yeti. Yeah, you guys should be sponsored by them.
We should send you one because they're very inexpensive compared to other mics. And
you guys sound amazing.
Are they expensive compared to other mics? I didn't know that. Are they?
This is like $129 at Target, and
sound is amazing.
And my friend Kate Bowler, she bought this mic and she's like, "Oh, I don't need a studio anymore to do my podcast. I can just do it like this with a curtain behind me."
Have you guys seen the Kabuki little pop filter that goes on there? It looks like a big round thing. It gets rid of it turns your mic into a studio. So you can be in any environment when you speak through it. I'm going to send you guys the link. When you speak through into your Yeti, it's like the mic is encased in the foam.
Oh my God!
You speak through a pop filter. You guys will love it.
Is it big enough to hide Ken's face?
It is.
That's great.
Okay, Rusty Skunks asked.
I didn't think he heard what I said.
A question for Rusty Skunks?
Wait, Yvette, do you have any questions about Ken's incredible awards shelf behind him?
I saw the award shelf for the first time when I watched Gillian's podcast with you guys. I believe the MTV award stands out. And then apparently you got a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer award back there with the animals.
Yeah.
That is little.
I animated it.
The Misfit toys, something.
Yeah. I did some work with. I helped animate the.
No, you're landing. You landed this joke. No, continue to land this joke.
Okay. At Allison Moon Pie. It is. This is his name. At Allison Moon Pie.
Why is it my picture on each question sheet?
Because it's the only way I could print it out. Well, because I said.
How many trees had to die? It was like, well, I'm just going to print out one question per page.
What do you want to do with all those pictures of me, Ken? There's so many. Okay, what did Allison Moon Pie?
At Allison Moon Pie asked, who made at YNB laugh the most behind the scenes?
Oh,
I can answer that.
What do you think, Joe?
Oh, it was Donald.
Donald was hilarious.
Because Donald would do this thing.
Is this it? Dude, we've been building up to this.
Oh, no, it's not that thing.
Oh, it's not the
it's amazing how me and Yvette were just like.
No,
we could talk about that thing.
We can't ever talk about that thing.
No, we can't.
Dude, even Joel, Yvette, even Joel's
we
like,
can't talk
even
about
Joel's
that.
like, this, we may never speak of this thing.
We can never speak of that thing. But there's this thing, you guys, that Donald did that to this day. Me and Ken laugh just at the thought of what Donald did. But it's so politically incorrect. We can never, ever tell what it is.
There's no way.
There's no way we could ever talk about it. But it is the funniest.
To the point where I have had fantasies. I was like, maybe that character could have their own show. Yeah, maybe what he's doing could be. But then as soon as we talk about it, you can't. Okay, the thing that someday, I don't know, in some other world, if I'm, I don't know. But anyway, the thing that I remember Donald, he would do.
God, he's so funny.
Okay, so people don't know this about Donald, but he does the greatest Barack Obama impression.
He does.
That you have ever heard.
Right. That's right.
He flirts with people though as Barack Obama.
He what?
He would flirt with you as Barack Obama. I found it very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. I was like, what about Michelle? Like, But go on, Joel. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
And he would be like, don't worry about that. He would, it was so funny because the impression was so good that you're fascinated by Donald doing this impression. And then he's coming on to Yvette. And it is so funny. It was
inappropriate.
And of course, the Yvette was like, you need to stop this. This is wrong. And of course,
that's the character's name.
Just egg him on more.
That's the character's name. Inappropriate Obama.
That's like the thing is too. There was so much time on set. I'm so Prudy McPrude, and our set was so blue. Like everybody worked blue. So I was always looking at someone's butt cheeks or hearing some story about something, or it really. They would attack me. Your butt crack, Joel. You would attack me with your butt crack because Joel.
Oh yeah.
Talked about your butt crack. He has a very high crack. His crack is very high. I understand because my cleavage is very high. So no matter what I wear, it looks like I have cleavage like under my neck. That's Joel's butt crack. And so it always disturbed me in some way. I don't know why. And so Joel would just back his butt up towards me at random times to torment me with his butt crack.
I would say now I go like, clearly the world has changed.
Oh, half the stuff that happened on the Community set could never happen anywhere else.
I just remembered another thing that Donald used to do, different than the other thing he used to do.
Which one is this?
I can't even if I'll ask you off.
Yeah.
After, but I think you know what he would do.
Is this the dog one, or was the other one the dog one? Which one is? They're both bad. Not bad.
Oh my gosh. Then I'm talking about two. I think you know the one thing I'm talking about.
I
but
know
then
the
other
first thing you're talking about, the character. I know that, but I don't know what the second one is.
Oh, this other one is terribly inappropriate.
Wait, is this the one? Is this the one that came from, like, he was either homeless or came from space, and he had a certain way to survive?
Okay, that's
the first one.
That's one. The other one.
Okay.
Is yes, that's the one I was talking about earlier.
Okay, I was talking about. Okay, go.
And not Barack Obama, but this other thing. It wasn't even a character, just other thing he would do. And I can't see. As soon as I say something,
we'll be right back with vague flirtation after this. All right. Wow.
I'll tell our producer Andrew was just like,
man, you guys made a cover of Vague magazine.
But I remember like we couldn't we couldn't roll action because Donald would have everybody just
dying.
Yeah, and then Allison would always boast that she could rap.
No, but the werewolf rap. But my favorite outtake ever is werewolf rap with you and Allison.
Yeah,
it is, and we should just freaking post that because it's so good.
That was her greatest hit, I think.
But you supplied the music behind it. It was a combo.
Yeah.
It was so, even the high five that you and Allie did at the end.
Because I was so impressed with her. And this is the thing.
The combo. It was great.
With Allison, like I'm like the historian of how we break, how each of us break, and how long it takes for us to come back. And Allison, if she ever broke, especially while rapping, because she found herself hilarious while rapping, she would cry. And so makeup would have to always come in and reset Allison's makeup. So anytime she started to rap, we would go, no, because we knew that it would end. And then with Ken, if Ken ever
that last week,
started laughing.
Well, there's that infamous take that Jim was talking about. It was, and I felt bad for you and more Malcolm. Because we talked about it last week where we did the ha 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 ha, and then
don't do it.
I know.
See, there he goes. Ken started to talk about it on the set of The Masked Singer, and I was like, don't do it. Because as soon as he starts doing it, he's gone for hours. You guys.
And then Jim reminded us he was dressed as a Chinese farmer from 200 years ago.
There's no way any of this stuff.
And then he's standing there ready to enter, and Ken is going, ha ha ha, dead babies, dead babies, dead babies.
And then Jim Rash comes in, ni hao, like that. And then Jim got it wrong one take where he went. And the thing is, right when I got over the ha 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 ha, like Jim comes in and goes, he now, he just got it wrong. He now, and I'm like, wow, it was painful to the point where both Joel and Jim thought that scene made it into the final edit. To my memory, it didn't even make it. I think
it's in there, but I think they cut out so fast. Like they literally had to use you only got it without laughing maybe once, and that's the version that made it in.
I don't know. I actually think they didn't use at all, and
really?
To this day is actually I've never watched that episode because I felt so embarrassed that
honey, don't feel embarrassed.
I actually did. I actually felt like, I mean, even though you see me giggling and it's fun to watch an actor break on these gag reels, but I felt so bad. That's the one episode I can't watch because I know I just messed it up.
Oh, it's such a good episode.
It was hours, man. It was hours.
No, it was an hour. You literally lost it for an hour.
I've never lost anything to this day for an hour. Like an hour. That's
Is that the bar though? Like I don't know if that should be the bar. But I just feel like there's another way to go about it. I don't know, Ken. I don't know about that. An hour. That's a rough bar.
Which episode? This will be our first watch back episode of that episode with you guys watching at the same time.
I would love it.
Like me and Joel want to do a rewatch podcast, but when we watch it, we don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I don't either. I
want to do a rewatch of Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, we'll do a rewatch of another show. We'll do a rewatch of Parks and Rec, and then
Can I say how handsome you both look?
Wow.
Both look good.
Thank you, computer.
Yvette, I really
faces. I like your little faces.
Yvette, I really appreciate that. Not
Yvette, I feel like you and I have an age.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
I feel like you and I really look the same.
Just you and me?
We did on this.
Just you and me?
Just you and me.
Yvette looks beautiful. You look amazing.
And when Ken plays his father in the reboot, I think that's going to be a wonderful exploration.
I play my own father. I played my own.
Well, I feel like no one's going to remember. Okay, never mind. Just because I look, you've spent a lot of time in the sun.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Now, wait, hold on. I have a question. Which episode? Not to get too specific of that. Which one was Shirley where she would drink? Was that just in the Darkest Timeline?
No. Well, we found out she drank on Troy's birthday when we went to the bar. That's when we first found out that she had a drinking problem. Okay. And then we only saw her drink the Darkest Timeline when you lost your arm. Jeff Winger lost his arm. And I think Annie was dead. Annie died of a overdose or something. Right? Didn't Allison's character die in that timeline?
Yes.
I think she was either dead or arrested.
Oh something like happened. So she was there, and and Shirley was on the bottle. She was drinking right out of the bottle. Yeah.
Wow. Good times.
I love drunk Shirley. She was fun to play.
Did you? Yeah. There was a question. How does as physics Boyd asked, how did Shirley feel about her Darkest Timeline doppelganger? I
loved it. It's always fun to play drunk. Like you have to try to play against what people expect you to be. And thankfully, because I know Ken, I have a lot of. No, I'm kidding. I'm thinking the joke out.
We're gonna cut that. Don't worry, Yvette. We'll cut that. Anything you're uncomfortable with, we'll cut, and we'll cut that because I know you're uncomfortable with that, and we'll cut that. All that.
I don't want that to live. But you try to play against you don't want to be. You want to play against what people expect a drunk to be, and so I try to do that, but. I think drunk Shirley is a more fun Shirley. I think she says whatever she wants to say, and she's really surly, violent. Yeah. She's a badass. I like drunk Shirley.
It is great to play against. It is great to play against type because there is. I mean, I've made a career out of it. When you're playing like Chang or Mr. Chow, you can just say the opposite of. Like in the Hangover movies, I would actually tell myself to think, what is the opposite what I would do in real life, and I would just do that in the movie. So.
Can I give you 2 more compliments, Ken?
Oh yes, please.
Okay.
Andrew press record.
There's a couple of things about Ken that I love. One, Ken has the best head of hair. When he doesn't do the swoop, he ends up with a cute little beetle bowl cut, which is adorable, and it's very thick and shiny. I love his hair. Second, what people may not know is that you have a beautiful singing voice. And here's number 3. His real name is Kendrick.
That's right. We did.
Kendrick. A bowl cut, beetle cut, and a beautiful singing voice. Those are.
And we touched upon that. Well, first of all, thank you for those amazing 3 compliments. And then also secondly, we referenced Kendrick being my real name, and you can corroborate on this. My dad, who is 90 years old, named me after Kendrick Lamar. So
yes, that's true.
And that's
incredible.
True.
Yeah.
That's
so
the fun
Yvette
fact.
can back me up on it.
No one knows. Yeah.
But this is what people don't know about Yvette. Yvette was not only does Yvette have a great singing voice, she was a professional recording artist. She was discovered by Michael Bivins of Bell Biv DeVoe, had a recording contract with Motown, with MCA, had albums out.
I didn't know this.
Yes, so there's a music video produced by Michael Vitt that I saw. You were just a kid. It was incredible to watch. She had, and actually someone said, oh God, I wish Shirley, basically Shirley could sing.
Roller Tracks 30 asked the question.
It's kind of like, yes, I think at Dusty Rat asked something like, I think Shirley's voice is I wish Shirley would sing more on Community. It was just like the biggest shout out because your voice, I love your oh man, I do love on the stop motion episode when you do the Christmas song, and your voice just stands out, especially in a song that's so emotional, and it was one of the best episodes Community has ever done. But your voice, they just really just let you go, and it was just so. Okay. I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, it's really
very nice.
How many times, Yvette, have you been asked to be on The Masked Singer? To how many people are like, would you ever sing?
A few times. I don't know that I'd ever do the show. Like, my dream was to do what I did. I wanted to judge. Like, I love music, so I wanted to hear them, and I wanted to encourage them if I could, and I just wanted to be a judge so bad. Like, Ken knows. I was like, can I do it? How about this year? Can I do it? So to finally get that shot at that was pretty great. And I had, you know how fun it is, Joel. It's a great show to do. It's a lot of fun to just pop in and. So I'm grateful. Thank you for having me.
Oh, and what I loved about it when the person that was eliminated, I think we can say it now because they aired the episode. It was Jordan Woods, right? She was eliminated. You were just, out of all of us, you were so encouraging, giving her advice that you could totally pursue this, because she had such a great voice. We really loved her. She's
just a baby. Like, what I said to her was, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what you can do in life. And I think a lot of young people don't realize that there's more to life than just what they see at that moment. And so I wanted her to realize, you killed this, you can kill 1,000 different things you don't even know about yet. So
right. As a fellow millennial, I took that advice to heart. I was like, I can do this.
It was for you too.
I am young. I can do this. I can do anything. I'm young because I'm young.
Wait, hold on. Ken, as a permanent judge, why wouldn't you be as encouraging as Yvette was as a guest judge? I mean, you're permanent.
Because I'm busy thinking of bits.
That's true. He has good bits.
That's true.
I want to share something that I don't know that people know this. My That's Nice that I say is Shirley. Joel McHale is the reason that That's Nice exists. That's Nice.
What?
It's true. You don't know this, Joel? That's Nice was not in the script. That's Nice in the first pilot. I said it to you, Joel, because you did something as Joel that was nice. And it was like, while I didn't know the camera was still rolling, and I just said, that's nice. And so then it became a part of what Shirley says. But it was Yvette talking to Joel that got caught by the camera.
Wow.
And did you not find out about that until they put it in the edit, or?
No, I didn't know. Like, it was just a little aside. Sometimes at the end of a scene, we would just kind of add something. Yeah. It was something that I remember, it was not Jeff Winger. It was something you did, Joel, that Yvette was saying, I was saying, oh, that's nice. And it just lived.
Do you remember my catchphrase from Chang to Winger, that season 1 arc? No. You suck. Remember, you suck? It was like, I try to get that going. You suck. You suck, Joel McHale.
Talking to me,
but unfortunately, no, it was talking to you as a person. And I kept saying, you suck, Joel McHale. And then everyone's like, we got to cut that. I was like, why?
Yeah, it never made it in.
Really?
That's okay. Look, interesting. Just because The Hangover is the second most popular.
What, next to Ted? Let's not bring this up in front of Yvette. Let's not trade movies.
Second most popular. Look, that's a huge.
We paved the way for you. We paved the way. You're welcome. Okay. You're welcome.
Sure. Sorry, I had to mention that I was in Ted.
Say, you're welcome. You're welcome.
But I interrupted you just moments ago.
We did. No, and the thing is too, like, I'm gonna go back and look at the pilot to make sure I did not just tell a ridiculous lie. But I do remember saying that's nice to you, and I don't remember that being a part of any of my lines in that pilot. And even as the show went on, sometimes that's nice were scripted, and sometimes it was just me adding them where I felt like they fit, because I just felt like Shirley thought a lot of things were nice, and some of them were, and some of them weren't.
No, you were that's Shirley was there as, like, a lot of the time as the adult who was and trying to keep everything like the mom of the group.
Shirley, like Chang, I think Shirley and Chang are very similar. We're both the moral compasses of the show, and then we always determine what was good and what was evil in society. And I felt like Shirley and Chang, we were the most grounded of characters, and we had the similar. I just like that. I remember when Chang was alone in an air vent hitting a monkey. I remember thinking to myself, this is a statement on society.
No, I mean, like, Shirley, she was like a real character who had a slight drinking problem, but she loved kids.
But she was done. She fixed it.
As opposed to a celebrity who shoehorned way on a TV show.
Well, No, I mean, like, and your character fell in love with a charred mannequin leg and tried to blow the school up and kill everyone.
Yeah, but it's like tomato, just
Yeah.
kind of
They're the
Instacart.
same.
It's an Instacart. That's an Instacart situation, if you will. Right?
Oh, I don't understand the analogy
All
at
right.
all.
Moving on with more questions. At Vaginblah.
What?
No, I don't think these names are real.
Vaginblah?
I don't think these names are real.
Yeah, they're very real. It's at VAGINB. Is it IA or Vaginbia?
Oh, that makes it.
No, it's true. It's
so
true.
much better.
It's a and at Vaginbia asks, what was it like to work in Drake and Josh?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a kids show, so it was a lot of silliness, and it actually was a lot like a cartoon in the same way that Community was, where we kind of did things that you don't normally expect to see on a television show. So it was a lot of fun.
Josh seems really cool. I think I've maybe met him in passing. Really, and Drake Bell is like I did a animated like movie with.
Was it Spider-Man?
I think he won. I remember him even talking about that at that time. He like really wanted to be Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't there like a movement?
He did the voice. No, he did the voice of Spider-Man on a couple of like a series. I think he did.
Yeah.
He does. He's a great musician now. He has got albums out and all that. So.
Yeah, no, I pulled some strings to help him get that Spider-Man part because as a security, I was security boy on Endgame.
Oh.
And that was my superhero character, security boy, and I think that's the way it's like mentioned. So
Are you sure it wasn't in featured extra?
Okay.
I believe that you believe that. So.
Thank you.
Thank
you. Okay, final question for at Leomanapia.
Okay.
Leomanapia.
That is less dirty than the last name.
The last three names. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how Shirley would be coping at the moment in this current world. What would she be doing other than praying a lot?
Well, I mean, there's two schools of thought. Like if we're in the darkest timeline, she's drinking a lot. If it's not the darkest timeline,
like everyone else,
like everyone, day drinking like crazy. If it's not the darkest timeline, then she's definitely praying and homeschooling her children, because I don't know if you guys noticed, Shirley's kids never age. So her kids are still probably 10 and 12, and she's 5th grade and 6th, 7th grade. She's getting them together at home.
Do you think after 6 weeks of pandemic, Shirley would go, "What the hell is going on? These kids aren't aging."
They don't age. We always had a new set of Bennett boys whenever they appeared. So Ben Bennett's still a baby, and she's getting it done somewhere.
Do you remember the episode where Chang
kidnapped
what he thought were Shirley's
boys, and
they weren't Shirley's kid, and then Joel. But I take them to Joel's apartment, to Jeff Winger's apartment, and Jeff Winger comes in. He goes, whose kids are these? And he goes, and then I said, "They're Shirley kids." And then the kids say, "We're not Shirley's kids." And I look at them like, "Hey, that's racist."
But I mean, how would you know? Because my kids every episode, which I actually loved. I thought it was hilarious that her kids never were the same two boys.
It's pretty good.
But there's that one episode where I think Shirley had her two sons, I think, on the Ass Crack Bandit episode, singing like Radiohead's "Creep." I always loved that.
They did.
That's like my favorite go-to karaoke song is like "Creep." So I love it.
Yeah,
it is. But it's
not our favorite.
I bet you sing it beautifully though, because that voice of yours, Kendrick, that voice of yours.
I remember we're at Hair and Makeup, and Lenny Kravitz song was on, and this is like first season, and we're doing It Ain't Over Till It's Over, and I just started humming along, and it was just me and Yvette in the trailer, and I was like, so many tears I cry, so much pain inside, and then it was like, yeah, it ain't over till it's over.
Yes.
I'm in a hell inside. Your McHale sucks a lot.
Oh.
Your McHale sucks a lot. A lot.
That's not the song.
Mm-hmm. It got uglier as you went along. It was beautiful at first, and in tone and voice, it got ugly.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you. And
I didn't like it.
We will cut to Andrew, our producer, will cut to a part where Yvette says, "That's nice." It ain't over till it's over.
Yes.
I'm in a hill inside. Your McHale sucks a lot.
Oh.
Your McHale sucks a lot.
Wow. Ken, you did a great job singing that song.
Yeah, thank you. Aw, thank you.
Nice.
Yvette, I love you so much.
I love you. Thanks for having me.
We love you,
guys.
Yvette.
Are you kidding?
I love you, Joel, too.
I love
Thanks,
you.
We'll see you on Friday, I think.
I know, yes. I'm working it out so I can be there with you guys.
Yvette, you are the best. Thank you.
I love you guys. Thanks for having me.
I love you so much.
Yvette Nicole Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
2 shows, not 1 show. 2 shows on Disney Plus.
We didn't say what they are. Wait a minute before I go.
Yeah, please.
The Big Fib is a kids game show. It debuts and starts streaming on Disney Plus May 22nd. And then Big Shot is a dramedy that I'm doing with John Stamos, which got kind of cut off because of COVID, but we'll be back with that too.
Nice. And I play the new Mandalorian.
Go watch.
I know.
Always a Bridesmaid.
Mandalorian
on Netflix.
On Disney Plus. And Always a Bridesmaid. And check me out on the new Mandalorian.
You're not in the Mandalorian. That's Bill Burr. That's
Oh, you're right. That was Bill Burr. It wasn't me. We're often up for the same roles. So, love you, Yvette.
Bye, Yvette.
Bye, guys. I love you. Bye.
See you.
Oh, that was great to have someone on Community and The Masked Singer who've been on both, and someone who I respect for a change. And that was nice. Mm-hmm. That was really nice. It's just so great to have people that I've worked with during Community and on The Masked Singer, and had that like chemistry and just kind of just someone I respect. That was just great. And it's really cool that I came up with the catchphrase, "That's nice." I think we can edit that for me. And I came up with the aborted catchphrase, "You suck, Joe McHale," because I used your real name.
And you know what I appreciate about you, Ken, especially after this many weeks, is nobody can run a sentence on like you, and just connects every thought with the word and no sentence ever stops. It just keeps going like a train across Australia, just flat and straight, and just keeps going, and you don't know really where you are. It just keeps on going. And then you go, "Dear God, when is the ocean coming up?" And then they all start laughing because it's so far away from the end of that sentence.
Naturally, that enraged me. But what makes me even more enraged is the fact that our producer, Andrew Hobson, could not stop laughing during that.
That made my day, perhaps my week. And skinny Matt Damon producer Andrew Hobson is my hero.
All right. Well, this is out of shape Ken Jeong signing off.
Wait, stop again. You cannot insult yourself because it makes me look like a dick.